Hello, everyone, and welcome to another podcast here at the Women's MTB Network. Today, we're so stoked to have freeride mountain biker Vinny Armstrong joining us all the way from Queenstown, New Zealand. Vinny is an amazing rider, as you all know, from sending stylish, jaw-dropping lines at Red Bull Rampage to redefining what's possible on two wheels. Vinny is pushing the boundaries in this sport, and that's for certain. We'll dig into her journey, what drives her, what pushes her limits, her training, her vision for 2025, and more. So let's just jump right in. How are you, Vinny? Thank you so much for taking your time to be with us.
Yeah, I'm so good. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm stoked.
I think over there you're a day ahead already, right? I believe it's like Wednesday or something, and we're on a Tuesday over here.
Yeah, Wednesday morning. I'm in the future.
Yeah, you totally are in the future. I'm going to be coming home to Australia in a couple weeks for Christmas. And it's so weird. Like you leave one day and you lose a day getting there. You literally lose a day.
Yeah. Like we always gain a day when we leave New Zealand and go overseas somewhere. We like gain an extra day, but then lose a day coming home.
Yeah. It's like you're traveling in the future for real. Exactly like you said. Back and forth
Exactly. Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
future.
Time traveling.
Yes, I know. So how have you been? Like, I want to touch on so many things with you, but let's just quickly touch on Rampage. We're going to come back to this, but when did you find out you were competing at Rampage? Like, when was that moment?
It was like the Monday after Crankworx Whistler was like all over, and it was insane. Like, yeah, I woke up. I like made sure to sleep in because we wouldn't get the email until like 9 o'clock in the morning. So I made sure to like sleep in and wake up, and then like instantly looked at the emails, and I like had the email, and I was like, and then I just read the like little start of the email. I didn't even open it, and all I could see was the what was it? I think it was like congratulations. Would like to officially invite you, and I was like, oh my god, what do I do?
I just got
And
the chills right now. That's so
yeah,
exciting.
it was insane. Like I feel like the build up to that moment was crazy, from like finding out that they were going to have a women's category to then like going through the application process, and then the whole time of like waiting and like just waiting, and then it finally happened. It was insane.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. How long was that from the time you applied to when you found out you got it? Was it like a few months? Because I feel like it happened so quick.
Yeah, it happened really quick because we all found out during Vera's backyard battles. I think it was like the start of June we found out they were going to have a women's category, and then I think maybe a couple weeks after that they like sent out the email like application form, and then so it was probably close to like 2 months almost until we
That
found
seems
out
kind of quick.
if we were getting in. And then I think it was another 2 months, until the competition. So we had like 2 months to mentally and like physically prepare ourselves to go to Rampage.
Yeah, that's insane. Okay, we're going to come back and touch on that for sure because I want to ask you all the things Rampage, prepping and training, and it's huge. But first, let's start a little bit at the beginnings. I want folks to really know you. And my first question is, how did you get into freeride mountain biking?
I got into freeride. Well, I grew up riding like dirt jumps as a kid.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
so I've like always really ridden jumps and like that kind of style of things. And then what really got me into freeride was after the first formation. Then it was like,
Yes.
it was like actually a thing, like something we could do. We didn't just have to pursue racing or something like that. Yeah.
So formation was really what opened that up.
Yeah.
The first one, there were two formations, is that right?
There was 3 formations. Yeah.
Three. I don't know why I thought there were two. I just remember watching the first one and being so up in arms that it wasn't being shown on TV. And I found out later reasonings why, but I was just like, why isn't this being shown on television? The women need a platform.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know. I think we just weren't ready for it then, but
Yeah.
we certainly are now.
No, I get it. That's absolutely awesome. Okay, cool. So prior to formation, you were racing? Downhill racing?
Yeah, I was doing downhill World Cups. I didn't do too many. I just did like a few, and then a couple Crankworx events and like downhill races during that.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I guess the stylishness, because you really are like a super stylish rider. Like I watch you practice at Rampage and you're just like with the whips, you make it look so easy, Vinny. Like I don't know how you do it. Does that then, it's the dirt jumps, right? I'm assuming that's kind of where you progressed from dirt jumps to get that style.
Uh, in a way, yeah, because I guess I was just already quite confident with like riding jumps and like knowing how to pull up and like
Yeah.
quite comfortable with airtime. Like that's always what I've always wanted while riding is just more airtime.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Would you say that the turning point in your career then was formation that turned you to free ride?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I came home from that event like fully rethinking my life decisions and I was like, wow, okay, I want to do more jumps and more free ride now that I know it's a thing. And yeah, obviously the world followed suit as well by having more women's categories and like inviting more women to these free ride events.
Yeah, yeah. So formation really was instrumental for so many women, I guess, and future women. Now, my goddaughter is 5, and she's just now discovering a mountain bike, and she absolutely loves it. So I can't
Yeah,
wait to see it. And my godson is 8, and he was watching Rampage with me, and he was so in awe of what you guys are doing. He was
that's
absolutely insane.
awesome.
He says he doesn't have the guts to do it just yet. He needs to build up to it. And I was like, okay,
Perfect.
buddy,
Yeah,
you build
yeah.
up to
In the future, yeah.
it. Well, that's really awesome. What are some of the biggest challenges you faced in free ride so far then? Since it's kind of new, right? It's what, 5 years of free ride? 2019?
Yeah, something like that. And it's like growing every year.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the biggest challenge?
Or any challenges that you can think you faced and
Just like I guess the support, where I think we're still
mm,
lacking the same support that the men have, and just like there's just the support in general. We're still like lacking in that area, I would say.
with like sponsors and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And since Rampage, has that changed at all? I know we're only 2 months out of Rampage. Have you noticed any change in support for you personally as a free rider competing in it?
Um, yeah, I guess so, like a little bit, but it's still like I mean, it's obviously a challenging time in the world for everyone in general in terms of sponsorships and
Yeah.
everything. Like it's obviously the industry is still not in a good place, so everyone's
Mm-hmm.
still suffering from that. But yeah, hopefully in the future it gets better.
Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, there's so much potential, and women's sports are just growing at a rate that is absolutely insane when you
Exactly.
see it
Like
now.
yeah, and like the amount of like media and everything there was at Rampage was insane. Like yeah, so much.
The amount of us women media too was so
Yeah.
cool to see, like all the photographers and other people there. It was really amazing. It was really amazing.
Yeah, so.
Um, so okay, now we're gonna talk a little bit about Rampage because I'm just so giddy and excited to ask you about Rampage. How do you train for something like that? Like when you found out you got the email, you're like, yes, I'm in. Or were you already training in anticipation for it?
I wouldn't say I was training in anticipation for it. It was more or less like I don't know. It was kind of hard, like because I didn't want to like go really all out and crazy with the training and like risk injuring myself and like not making it there. Because I think I had a lot of pressure on myself just to even make it to the event because like yeah, I just wanted to be there and complete the first rampage. So I
Yeah.
didn't necessarily want to go yeah like crazy and try to learn a whole bunch of new tricks. So to me, the biggest thing in training was I just need time on the bike and like to
Mm,
build my confidence up as much as possible. So just trying to be on my bike and like riding new things and like testing myself. And then another really big thing was towing myself into features instead of like following someone over features or I don't know, trying to be the first one out of the group to hit features. So that because that's obviously a huge part of rampages. No one else is going to guinea pig your own stuff. You have to do it.
right.
Um, and so that's like quite a gnarly, challenging thing to do, especially if you're just doing it at Rampage. So I was like, okay, I need to get accustomed to that now, and start getting used to that feeling of having to, like, I don't know, figure out the speeds, like do run-ins and figure out the correct speeds for features, and then like hitting it and knowing what I did wrong and what I could do better. And yeah,
And did you
yeah.
find that having the creativity to build your own line, was that helpful in that aspect where you could build something that you could manage the speed to where you wanted to manage it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, like yes and no. It was like quite overwhelming also because you're like building something that no one else has hit before, so you can't necessarily like watch a video or ask someone advice of like how they hit it. Like
Yeah.
you can ask for advice, which was really helpful because like having the judges walking around, because they actually really helped me with the speed for one of my biggest drops because I was like not sure about it, and then they
Yeah.
came and had a chat to me and explained it all, and then it was actually the perfect amount of speed that they gave me. Yeah, so that was awesome.
That's so cool. Were you a little intimidated when you got there and just the size of it all? Had you ridden in a spot like Utah before? I mean, obviously your
Yeah,
formation, so yes.
yeah, like, and yeah, because I'd done the formations before and like had to go through that process, so it was like I guess slightly less intimidating, but because it was Rampage and it was like a whole new venue, there was nothing pre-built. It was like quite overwhelming because yeah, it was like so much to think about because you got to think about what you want to build, but then you have to think about what's manageable and the amount of time that you have, and then like collaborating with the other riders, alignment
Yeah.
flows. Yeah, so many factors come into play. So scope day was quite overwhelming.
I can imagine. And you had a great crew out there. I think you guys won the Digger Award, right? You and your
Yeah,
crew?
yeah, I'm so stoked. Like, I think yeah, my crew is insane. I'm so stoked with everyone I chose. They're awesome.
You gonna have them back next year?
Yeah, for sure. Depending on like how many builders and everything they let us have back. But yeah, definitely the same crew. They're all awesome. Yeah.
So okay, so you get there, you check out this virgin ground in little virgin ground in Virgin, Utah, and I completely understand the overwhelm. Um, on that one day, were you already planning tricks, or did that change? Did you have like something in your mind that you wanted to pull, but then you get there and you're like, no, I'm not going to be able to do that, or I need to change my tricks?
Um, I guess I had like a couple tricks in mind that I knew I could do. Like maybe one in particular, that like 1 foot Euros, like one that I really wanted to do. And I wanted to find like a really sick feature for it. But I was more or less just like trying to plan out a line to get to the bottom because that was hard enough as it was.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know how you all did that, honestly.
yeah. It was many, many hours in the sun getting very sunburnt and dehydrated.
Yeah, because that's the other thing you have to factor in, right? Not only are you digging and building, then you got to ride it. You got to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
walk back up that steep mountain and ride that sucker.
yeah, yeah.
So how was it managing that like mentally, right? Because how I'm in awe of how you guys do that. You're talking about confidence. You're talking about you building your confidence to do all these things. Can you walk us through a little bit about how you got in that headspace of, okay, I'm happy with this line. Now I need to pull this off.
Well, I guess it was like during the build days and like during the scope day at least, I was just focusing on like, the build aspect of it. And then build days was just like moving dirt, not really thinking about riding it because it took like quite a few days for everything to start taking shape. But then like I guess the day before our rest day, because after that we had practice, everything started taking shape and you're like, okay, I need to start visualizing like riding it.
Yeah.
But I think it also helped, like, obviously being there all day, every day, and like seeing it take shape. I spent a lot of time during the build on like certain features specifically, just like visualizing it. Like, every time I'd walk up and down, I would like look at it and picture the line and like, picture myself riding it and how it's going to feel and what I'm going to do in the air and like all these things to like really help make it less jarring when you have to test the feature.
Yeah, because testing is so rough. I remember talking to Georgia, and she was saying how the braking and the testing is the hardest thing for you to do when
Yeah,
you're out there.
yeah. And especially like, yeah, if you're the only one hitting that feature, you can't just like, I don't know, get someone else to test it. You have to test it yourself and figure it all out.
Yeah,
So it's
did you have that sections of your line where you were the only one hitting it?
yeah, my upper jump was just me, and then um me, Bear and Via had like these middle like step down drops.
Yep.
But there was two lips next to each other, and mine, like I had like the slightly bigger one, and I was doing that just on my own. So that was kind of terrifying. I had to test that one.
I think I actually got footage of you the day before the final day of practice, like on
Yeah.
Wednesday, doing it. And I was going up that mountain on my butt because I thought I was going to fall. Like I was scooting
Yeah.
down that thing because it was so loose and steep. And I sent a photo to my mom and my family in Australia, and they're like, "For the love of God, you're not doing that, are you?" And I was like, "Thank you for thinking I could, but no, I'm not doing that." And then I ran into your mom, who was there,
Yeah.
sweetest woman ever. And I caught her. I think she was walking towards one of the practice sessions. And I was like, "Hey, you're Vinny's mom, right?" She's like, "Yeah." And I said, "How are you feeling?" And she goes, "I'm okay. I'm ready for her to be just down the mountain and over with."
Yeah. Yeah.
How was that like having your mom there for support?
Oh, it was so sick. Yeah, it was really nice having her there, because I figured she hasn't really come overseas at all and like watched any of my like competitions. So I figured if there's one that she's got to watch, it has to be this one.
The
So
biggest one of
yeah,
all.
exactly. So I was like, you have to come, and yeah, it was so nice having her there and like having her like be involved in what I'm doing with my life and like seeing what it's like in person. Like she was so mind blown at the whole just terrain even as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Were you nervous that she was going to get super nervous and not want to see it or watch it out of concern or?
No, I wasn't too worried about that really. No, I wasn't too worried about that, and I had a whole bunch of friends in the crowd watching as well, so they were like looking after her, and so that was nice. Yeah,
Oh, that's good. That's awesome. That's so cool, dude. I can't. It was such an experience. You know, we were literally crying after the Robin did the first run, and then all you
yeah,
guys were coming down. We're all crying. It was such an
yeah,
amazing thing.
yeah. We had
Um,
like a little screen at the top before dropping, so we got to see, well, like because I was third, so I got to see like Robin like nail her first run and like,
yeah.
you know, open it up for everyone, and then Casey nailed hers, and I was like, "Yep, let's do it.
Let's
It's time
go.
to go."
Let's go.
Yeah,
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 it's sick. It was so sick. I can't wait to see what you bring in the next Rampage and just at Crankworks. So, what are some of the plans you have for 2025? Do you have lots of free ride events you want to participate in? What does that look like?
yeah. So similar to this year, I want to go do Vera's backyard battle again, maybe a couple of
Hmm.
the other backyard battles, um, and then uh, yeah, Rampage will definitely, yeah, absolutely love to do that again, especially because I feel like I've learned everything so I can do it better next year.
Yeah,
Um, and then what else did I have on my
there's
calendar?
some Crankworks. Are you going to do any of the events over there in New Zealand or Australia?
Oh, that was it. Yeah, the next one is natural selection.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be doing that. Um, yeah, super excited for that. I was actually going to try and go up and have a look at the course sometime this week or next week.
Yeah. Do you get to pre-ride that stuff before you
I
do it?
won't get to, just because I feel like that's unfair as like an athlete of the event to go and
Fair
test all
enough.
the features. It's like I get extra practice, so no, I won't be
Great
allowed to do
point.
that. But but no, they've said it that I can go up and have a look and, you know, walk around the course and see what they've been building. Yeah,
That's super cool, dude. That's so exciting.
yeah,
Um, so going back to your riding style a little bit, I love that photo of you at Rampage where you just take your foot off a little bit and you're just like stepping off into the air. I thought that was so freaking sick. I know that freeride demands a lot of creativity and technical skill, all the things that you have. So What's your process for planning and executing big tricks like that?
Um, I don't know. I
Does
don't
it
know
just
if I
like
have
come
a.
to you?
Yeah, I guess I just like to ride the feature and see how it feels and like ride it a few times and get comfortable and then kind of go from there in terms of like what kind of trick or what kind of style I want to execute because every jump is different and ride's different. So every move is going to be a little different on it. So yeah,
Yeah.
kind of just go from there and find the one that feels the most comfortable and the one that I'm most stoked on. Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any tricks that you've seen others do that you want to pull off? Like, I don't know how people do backflips. That's just beyond me, but I'm not sure if that's something you want to do or have done or want to do, you know?
Yeah, rotations kind of scare me a little bit, but I definitely want to start learning some sort of rotation. So, yeah,
Rotation
just
is sick.
waiting for them to like set up the airbag system in Queenstown, and then maybe I can start trying to learn something.
Yeah, I mean, in and of itself, just trusting that you're gonna go backwards or even forwards is pretty tough. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
I can't even do that in a pool, let alone.
yeah. Well, I think the place to start is the trampoline park, and then you start learning air awareness and rotations on the trampoline, and go from there.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. That's pretty cool, though. Um, so are there any specific trails that you feel or like locations that you feel kind of shaped your riding style? Did you get that there in New Zealand, or was it something you developed more in Utah?
Definitely here in like Queenstown with being able to ride like Mini Dream and Dream Track. It's
Yeah.
like the progression is unreal, and they're just like, especially Dream is just massive jumps. So you get like super comfortable in the air and like riding off really tall lips, and then start like moving the bike around, and yeah.
That is like a huge jump line. I think I've seen that it's one of the biggest jump lines in the world, right? The Dream Line. That's
Um,
what you're talking about, isn't it?
yeah, I think it's like the biggest public jump line
Mm,
in the
yeah,
southern hemisphere, at least, or something. I, I don't know, my facts could be wrong, but I think it's something like that. Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah,
I again, my wheels don't really leave the ground just because I'm so scared to fall. It's happened before, so
yeah.
I'm more of a technical rider than I like rock gardens and stuff like that. Do you have a lot of
Yep,
that over there in New Zealand?
yep, there's definitely plenty of rocks around.
I need to come ride in New Zealand. I've got so many friends that live out there.
Oh, for sure. And like just the views and the community is unreal here. It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah, I figured the community there is growing so much. Have you seen that jump in the last 5 years since women's free ride has exploded over there?
Yeah, and just like more and more people coming to Queenstown for the mountain biking. So the mountain biking community is just like growing, and it's so sick. Like so many people to just go do cool shit with.
Yes, yes. Do you see a lot of younger kids getting into it too?
Yeah, so many. Yeah, and then there's like a huge, like a bigger women's field getting into riding dream track and like doing bigger jumps and like doing all the progression and everything. It's sick, so sick to see.
Do you are you a part of any groups or anything out there where folks can, if they want to like ride with you or reach out or do something, are you available for folks or is it just whoever you run into in the trail?
At the moment, it's just whoever I run into. But it would be sick to like start organizing some kind of group rides, especially
Yeah.
because it's there's a couple other pros in town as well. Like it's not just me. There's like Emma and like a bunch of other girls in town. So it'd be sick to have like organize something where all of us can be involved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are you talking about Emma Olafson?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she's sick. I had her on the podcast too. She's so cool to chat to too.
yeah, yeah. She's rad. Yeah,
And she's lived in Australia before as well, so we had that in common. I think I
sick.
just miss it, dude. I miss it so much. I miss being down there in that part of the world and
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You got to come for summer.
I'm coming in a couple weeks for
Yeah,
Christmas and stuff, but I
sick.
can't take too much time off. I still have a full-time job on top of doing this, so I'm
Yeah, yeah,
trying
yeah.
to make things work, but yeah, I'll make it down there next year and then hopefully you're
Yeah,
there and we can hang out.
always. I live here. I'm here all the time.
But I think I'm going to see you next year in the US if you're going to be up here a couple times. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Might come to some of these backyard battles.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to see something like that. It'd be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. You got
Um,
to.
so how do you see free ride changing for women? You know, it's growing so much. Do you think it's a matter of just the support, or do you think it's a matter of visibility, or like, how do you see free ride changing for women?
Yeah, I would say just like more support, more opportunities, like having the field grow bigger because obviously like the invited fields are still kind of small compared to the men, but I think it's only going to grow like in every aspect. It's just going to get better and better every year.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, what do you think can be done to bring more women into free ride? Like, what has helped you
Um,
stay in free ride?
just the opportunities, like getting the
Yep.
invites for the events. So I would say like having more like progression opportunities, like maybe even like lower level free ride events where like the younger crowd can get involved, and then get like gain experience from having those um like lower level events to then build up to the much larger events. Like
Yeah,
having formation was like a huge help to getting into rampage because then we gained experience without having the like intensity of rampage around. So I think having
yeah,
stuff like that and like smaller events that the younger crowd can get into would be amazing.
yeah, yeah. I think the progression events are key,
Yeah.
100% as
And
well.
not just for the women as well, like for the men too, like having just all the younger generation get involved in doing these like smaller events to then get gain an invite or like a wild card into these bigger events, I think is super key.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think there are some that have wild cards, but now there should be more for sure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're getting into it, but yeah, definitely should be more.
I also think doing this stuff with younger generations together, regardless of gender, is so important too, to still create that camaraderie. And it's not so much
Yeah.
about separating the men with the women. It's just keeping everyone together, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, keeping it
Uh
equal, having everyone together and no segregation is super important.
yeah, 100%. 100%. Um, okay, so what does a typical training day look like for you? Do you just hit the bike? Do you do gym? Do you session something over and over again?
It's kind of, I guess that's what's difficult about this career is you kind of like have to make it up as you go. Or I mean, that's what I do at least anyway. I kind of just
Yeah.
make it up on the day or as I go. But normally, yeah, gym, yeah, do a bit of gym. And then I love to pedal up a mountain at some point just to like keep the fitness up. And I just genuinely enjoy that. And then yeah, just try and keep like a variety of riding, whether it's like getting a bit of like dirt jumps in to like learn how to ride steep lips and pull up, and then riding the big bike and doing yeah, like big jumps or like mulch sessions and start training, learning new tricks, or just like keeping up the tricks that I already know and dialing them in. Yeah.
And is that something you do every chance you get, or do you have a structure of like 3, 4, 5 days a week? This is what I'm going to do.
Maybe like a mulch session, just like once a week at the moment, but it like changes as summer like keeps going, like and the more people start riding and the sessions just get like bigger and bigger and more focused on certain things. Yeah. At the moment it's still kind of off season and like, still taking it slow. I don't want to get too burnt out too quickly. So yeah, just taking it chill at the moment and kind of riding for the fun of it and then slowly getting into the training aspect of things.
That's kind of interesting you say that, because yeah, you do have burnout. But living in New Zealand and then coming here for certain events, you kind of have good weather all round, right?
Yeah.
So summer for you this time of year is your off sessions then, not
Well, it's kind of hard because it's like, you live double summers and you don't really get an off season because when you get back is like everyone's starting to ride again. So you've just had
Yeah.
a whole summer of riding and then you go straight into summer of riding. And especially here, because summer here is like way longer than overseas. So then we get an even longer season. So you got to like really manage what you're doing so you don't like overdo it too much.
Yeah, you have to pace yourself, right? Like,
Yeah, exactly. And like just take the time off and doing other things instead of just riding bikes all the time.
so what do you do when you're not riding bikes all the time?
I've gotten really into hiking, so because
Oh,
there's some insane hikes around here, like so beautiful, and I find it really, really sick to just like be out in nature, but like at a slower pace, so you can enjoy it a bit more instead of like biking. Sometimes you're going a bit too fast, and you don't get to enjoy the beautiful scenery around
yeah.
you. And then also just not having any signal on the phone and you're just fully switched off for a couple days because you're out with your friends in nature and just yeah,
I think that's the best part of it. It's just being nature. You said it, and slowing down and
yeah,
enjoying the company that you're with, enjoying the views, enjoying nature. You
yeah.
know, does New Zealand have a lot of wildlife that could attack you like in Australia?
Nothing at all. Everything in New Zealand is harmless. You could not die at all or like get harmed in any way. That's what's so
See,
great about it.
I need to move to New Zealand. I love you,
Yeah,
Australia, but you too many snakes over there. I
exactly. Everything over
can't.
there wants to eat you.
I mean, that's not entirely true. I mean, I've seen more snakes here in California than I've seen in Australia. For
Yeah,
real.
true.
Like, I ran over a rattler last year and I didn't know it was a rattlesnake, dude. It was the gnarliest thing. The trail was like a foot wide.
Oh
And
my
I'm
god.
bombing down this hill, and I usually go way faster than my wife because I'm heavier than her. And I turned around, she caught up to me. So I turned around, I was like, yeah, you caught up. And as I turned to face forward, this fat snake right in front of my tire. I didn't even have
Oh,
time to jump over it or nothing. I kind of just swerved and I lifted my feet off the pedals
oh my god.
and I stopped. And I turned around and I saw the snake flip around and strike at my
Oh
wife's
my god.
foot right under her down tube. Like if her feet weren't level on the
Yeah,
pedals,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it would have gotten her 100%.
Oh my god.
My heart rate went from like 132 to 170 in a second.
Oh,
I was
terrifying.
freaking, it's completely terrifying. So appealing to me to go to New Zealand
Yeah,
and do
yeah,
some sick riding and hiking and not have to
yeah,
worry about snakes.
yeah. And there's not even any like plant life that are gonna harm you either. Everything is like just yeah, harmless.
That's so cool. That's so
Yeah,
freaking cool. I've been to New Zealand a couple times, but never in the aspect of like having to hike or bike. So I guess that has to be on the itinerary.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, is there a Crankworx that's happening there next year? I don't know why I thought I saw there was a
Yeah.
Crankworx in New
Yeah, we've
Zealand.
got a Crankworks summer series in Christchurch. Then we've got the official Crankworks in Rotorua.
Are you going to any of those?
Not sure yet. Probably not the summer series because I think it's on similar time to Natural Selection. Um,
Yeah,
and
it's
I haven't,
February.
yeah, and I haven't decided yet about the Crankworks Rotorua. Yeah,
Well, I hope to make it down there to at least cover some of that. It would be so freaking cool to do that.
yeah, it'd be sick, especially with the women's slope style as well.
I know. I can't. Oh, there's so much going on in mountain biking for women. It's going to
Yeah,
explode in the next 5 years. I can't wait to
yeah,
see what's going to happen.
yeah,
Um,
same. Yeah, I can't wait to what happen, especially after Rampage as well. It's gonna be so sick to see.
so how did you feel after Rampage? Were you just could you just believe what happened? I couldn't believe what had just happened, women competing at Rampage.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly a lot to process. So I think it was like really weird coming home and like not being around everyone anymore. It was like, and everyone was still kind of hibernating because of winter here. So it was
Yeah.
so weird to come back and it was really quiet after having like the most intense, gnarly 3 weeks of my life to then coming back and it's like, oh, yep, that's it.
Wait, so you came home right after Rampage? You didn't hang around or anything like that?
No, I came home straight after because I'd been away for like 4.5 months, so I needed to come home and
Oh,
like just reset. I think I was pretty sick of living out of a suitcase, so
yeah.
yeah,
I don't know how people do that. It's such a tough life if you're just
yeah,
traveling constantly. And um you mentioned a little bit ago you enjoy pedaling. So you enjoy climbing your bike and
yeah.
that fitness aspect of it. Not a lot of people do. I mean, there are a lot of people that do, other people don't. So how many bikes do you have right now when you do those pedals? You don't take your big like enduro rig up those mountains, do you?
No, I have like a shorter travel trail bike. It's like 130
Yeah.
mil. Yeah, so I just take that one on any kind of trail riding I do. Yeah.
What are you riding nowadays? What are your bikes?
Forbidden. So yeah, I've got like yeah, the Dreadnought is a free ride bike and a downhill like park rig. I've got two of
Yeah.
them, and then I've got the Druid set up as yeah my enduro bike.
That's so cool. How I haven't tried them. I really want to try those hype pivot, not hype pivot. Crap. Why is it escaping me? The the high chain.
Yeah, yeah,
I
the high
can't
pivot.
talk.
Yep.
It is high pivot. I don't know
Yeah.
why I thought that was wrong for some reason. Did it take some getting used to when you went from like the trek to that to forbidden?
um, Nah, not really, to be honest. I feel like it was like a complete different bike setup in terms of geometry, but I feel like it didn't take that long to get used to. And I feel like I'm always changing my bike settings to try and like improve them and make the bike feel better and like just playing with little things here and there. But I feel like I'm finally like getting to like, I don't know, a really well, the setup is really good, but yeah, it's always improving and getting better and better. It's sick.
Okay, so for the dreadnought that you had at Rampage, did it take a lot of adjusting on it when you were doing the hits in terms of the fork and the rear suspension? Did you have coil? You had coil in
No,
the
I had
rear, right?
air. Yeah, I just
You
run
had
air.
air.
Yeah.
So how did it take a lot to adjust that?
Um, no, I think I had like because I got there like a week before Rampage started. So I had like a week and a couple days of riding in the desert to like find like a good setup on my bike that I was pretty happy with.
Yeah.
And then I didn't really want to change it too much throughout the event because I didn't want it to like feel too different like once I got used to it. So I kind of just ran the same setup. Yeah.
That's awesome. What brakes were you running on that thing?
Um, Shimano Saint Brakes. Yeah.
Dang. I don't know. There's so much. There's so much I want to ask right now. Okay, so Shimano brakes. Um, what fork were you running on there?
I had Marzocchi Bomber 20, yeah,
Ooh.
27.5 fork. Yeah.
I really wish I would have gotten a video, sorry, a photo of your bike, of you on your bike next year. Next year we're gonna do like
Yeah,
bike
yeah, yeah,
checks
yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Do bike checks.
Yeah, for
I know.
sure.
I think Pink Bike got some bike checks with you guys too, which was pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah.
so are you staying with Forbidden next year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. That's so cool, dude. That's so cool. Okay. Oh, tires. What tires were you? Because it's 27 and a half front and rear for you, right?
I had 26 on the back actually.
You
I'm
have
running Maxxis tires. Yeah.
26. Is that normally what you ride? 27 and a half and 26 in the back?
I just started running it, like after Crankworks Whistler, like when I got the invite, I really wanted to, try it out and, cause I thought it would like be way better for my riding, and it
Yeah.
actually was. It was like life changing the difference that it
Really?
made. Yeah, it like I just felt like I had so much more control of the bike, and I was able to like move the bike in the air so much better, and like it really helped make my style a lot better. I think, um, which hopefully everyone will see with my new edit that'll come out at some point.
Ooh, when's that coming out?
Not sure right now. There's no official date, but yeah, it's insane. I've seen the like draft of it, and I can't wait to release it. It's
Oh,
yeah, insane.
I can't wait to see it. We'll definitely be blasting that all over the place.
Yeah,
But that's
yeah,
sick. So, is it the first time you've ran like a 26 in the back?
yeah, yeah.
And what made you think like to go to that extra inch and a half down? Like what was the
Well,
idea?
Because like a bunch of like even the dudes run, a lot of the dudes run the 26 in the back, and a couple of the girls were doing it. And I am quite short, so I figured like the shorter the bike, the better it would feel. And especially for free ride, like I don't need big wheels because I'm not going fast. Like I need small wheels because I need more air time and like more control in the air. So that's
Yeah.
kind of the thinking behind it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dang. That's really cool. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's
It's
amazing.
sick. So sick. Highly recommend doing it.
I'm going to have to try that now.
Yeah.
I love running a mullet setup, but I haven't ridden a 27 in the front in a minute, or a 26 since I was a teenager, I don't think.
Yeah. I think
I'm
I've
gonna have to
just
try.
like, I prefer shorter bikes. The shorter the bike, the better for me. So, yeah.
See, isn't that cool? Like everyone asks me sometimes, they're like, "Oh, how tall are you? What bike do you ride?" And it really is such a personal preference. Like, because
Yeah,
you can be
exactly.
short and ride a longer wheelbase because you want that stability, or you can be tall and want something shorter because you want it to be nimble. Like it's just depends
Exactly.
so
Like
much.
my enduro bike, like I think the standard setup is a mullet, like with 29 on the front, but I just run dual 27 because that's what I prefer. And
Yeah,
it's what suits my riding style. It's what I'm used to. So yeah, I'm pretty
yeah,
happy with that.
that's awesome. That's so cool. Okay, so some fun rapid fire questions before I let you go.
Oh,
Ready?
yeah.
Um, flats or clipless?
Flats.
Favorite bike setup? We were just
Like,
talking about that, but
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
downhill bike setup?
Yeah, my free ride bike, like just the 26, 27 front and like super stiff, like non-reactive bike. Yep.
Okay. Chamois or no chamois?
No chamois.
I love that so much. I'm the same, no chamois.
Yeah.
um, uh, desert or mountains?
Ooh. Uh, mountains. I love the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dream trail to ride.
Just dream track in Queenstown. Yeah.
Dream track it is.
Yeah.
And the last one, what is something you always carry with you when you're riding?
A multi-tool, actually. I always have a multi-tool in my pocket.
Really?
Yeah. No matter what riding I'm doing, I always have a multi-tool in my pocket. You never know when you're gonna need one.
That's true. Okay, I love that. I like that very much. All
Yeah.
right. You were an amazing person to chat to. Thank you so much, Vinny, for the time that you did to talk to us. And I can't wait to put this out for people to get to know you a little bit better. And I can't wait to see you when you're here next year. I'm hoping to see you at Rampage again, doing some kick-ass tricks.
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely be there. I can't wait. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Have a great rest of your day and summer, because I'm very jealous you're still having double summer.
Cheers. Thank you.
We will chat soon. Have a great day.
Yeah, cheers. You too.
Bye.